On this week's show, East York Collegiate gears up to hit the spotlight at the annual Friday Night Lights game from Memorial Stadium. And our own Angela Willett gets things shaken with a new way to stay fit at Hanan's belly dancing studio on the Danforth. And Centennial men's basketball team embarks on a new season. Centennial Sports TV starts now. Good evening and welcome to CSTV. I'm Anthony Marcusa alongside Victoria Cornby. We have a lot to get to tonight, so let's waste no time.
The leaves are changing and October is in full swing, and for two local rival schools, homecoming has its own unique celebration. Earlier this week, Laura Barney went to find out how plans are getting underway for tonight's festivities.
It's the only game of its kind in Toronto. The annual Friday Night Lights event is here, and East York Collegiate is ready to battle Degrassi High. When the crowd packs in, this friendly rivalry is taken up a notch.
1,500, 2,000 people chanting and calling out your name, with an announcer going on, with the music and all the rest of the hype. They're incredibly psyched up.
Everybody gets nervous, right? I mean, it's normal, like every athlete. Doesn't matter what sport you play, before game time.
This is going to be the 5th edition of the event after a 7-year football hiatus at East York. The program was suspended due to lack of funding, but came back thanks to the dedication of students and staff with generous support from the community.
A fundraising organization called the East York Friends of Athletics. People donate money, they get a tax receipt, and then they give us products, gifts in kind, like the lights.
We recognize the tradition that this East York has in football. During the heyday of football at East York Collegiate, it was in East York Memorial Stadium. They did have a stadium here. It was under the lights on a Friday night.
Now Goliath players have this date circled on their calendars. Despite the extra hype, the Friday Night Lights game helps the team come together and build for a successful season.
It allows us to have a goal, not so much just towards a championship, but towards showing ourselves in front of a community. So it brings us together as well as a community within the football team.
But who's going to pull off a win in the big game?
The question is that, it's us.
East York. Us, of course.
East York. East York's going to win.
A field packed with 2,000 people and a friendly rivalry that goes back for years. It's Friday Night Lights. Time for the East York community to get ready for some football. For Centennial Sports TV, I'm Laura Barney.
East York! East York! East York! 1, 2, 3, go!
And now we have an update from Laura Barney, who is at the junior game.
Thanks, Victoria. As you can see, it's pouring down rain here at East York Collegiate, but that's not going to stop Leaside from celebrating. They just won the game 21-7. There they are behind me celebrating. Got a few hundred people here despite the rain. It's a great game. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Laura. Stay warm out there. High school basketball now, and the Eastern Commerce senior girls team is lacking some familiar faces this season. The Saints lost all of their starters and head coach Kareem Griffin last year from the provincial championship team. That hasn't slowed them down. No, in fact, 2 games in and the team is rolling with a win over Lawrence Park to start the season and an 86-14 thumping of Humberside last week. Brittany Brown led the team with 12 points for the Saints, and we'll keep you updated throughout the season as the girls make their push for a 3rd straight OFSA championship.
Now, it's not often you get to meet a sporting idol, let alone get the chance to learn a trick or two from them. But a local curling club recently got the opportunity to glean some helpful hints from a famous face. Craig Richenbach has more.
On most Tuesday nights at Leaside Curling Club, the men wander in around 6:30, exchange some small talk, and head onto the ice for their 7 o'clock start. But this is no ordinary night here at Leaside, because tonight, 3-time world champion Glenn Howard is in the house, literally, along with teammates Richard Hart and Brent Lang, to share their skills with the members.
An evening like tonight here at Leaside, you've got 100 people out here wanting to talk to Team Howard. They're going to see that we're just average Joes, human beings, that they're pretty good at a game.
Following the demonstration, Howard, Hart, and Lang answered questions and signed autographs. It's an opportunity that the members are eager to embrace.
I wanted to come and meet him in person and just sort of get a close-up view of him when I have the opportunity to do so.
It's kind of cool here to find someone who's so good in the sport here to come out and doing some drills and stuff. So just sort of interesting to see what the professionals do.
And the presence of players like Howard only adds to curling's popularity in the community.
We get much more phone calls. As soon as the Olympics will be on, people will watch it and call us up and say, when can I start to curl? We do find exposure about the sport really, really helpful for us.
You may not be Glenn Howard, but that's the beauty of curling. You don't have to be to enjoy it. So whether you're a rookie or a seasoned veteran, why not come down to Leaside and give the game a shot? For Centennial Sports TV, I'm Craig Richenbach.
Cutting the cake and the ribbon as Toronto's oldest 5-pin bowling alley is back in business. And for those who like to bowl in the rain, we hit Sunnybrook Park for the 2009 Mayor's Cup, all when we come back.
What if you could live your sports dream off the playing field? At Centennial College in Toronto, those dreams could become a reality. Welcome to the Graduate Sports Journalism program, where students can learn their craft from some of Canada's finest journalists.
What we're interested in graduating is not just jocks, but great storytellers who have a passion for sport.
The students have the opportunity to get hands-on training. They get to go to sports games and do reports.
So what are you waiting for? Log on to centennialcollege.ca to find out how to apply.
Welcome back to Centennial Sports TV. We're glad you can be with us on this rainy evening. Now, it's always difficult to find ways to stay fit, especially for people like me who hate going to the gym. But Angela Willett has been out searching East York for a better way to keep in shape.
I'm here on Danforth Avenue on my way to check out a growing trend in exercise that's a little bit different than you might expect.
Belly Dance Studio. How can I help you?
Belly dance is a traditional Arab art form with deep cultural roots, but studios like Hanan's are popping up all over Canada, promoting the style as an accessible way to stay fit. I decided that tonight the best way to find out more about it was to try it myself, even though I have no dance training at all.
This particular art is for everybody, for every age, for every size. Everybody can belly dance without hurting themselves.
Nada was a professional dancer in Egypt and was surprised by the level of interest she found when she came to Canada. With Hanan's running over 20 capacity classes each week, the growth is undeniable.
Like anything, it sort of has waves of popularity, but I've been seeing it growing steadily over the years, and certainly with the numbers of the classes, I definitely think that it's growing.
The physical benefits are obvious, working various parts of the body, the front, the back, and as I learned quickly, the sides. But I asked some of my fellow students in the beginner class what brought them out for the first time.
I always had this interest in the intriguing part of belly dancing, so I just thought it might be fun.
My family goes to medieval fairs, and there's a lot of belly dancers there, and I kind of got, yay! It's cool. I want to try it.
Just to, get moving. The music, just the fun of the movement.
There was one word that I just kept hearing over and over.
I find it the most fun.
Nada makes it a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun, and Nada makes it a really, really great class.
For Centennial Sports TV, I'm Angela Willett.
Exactly 100 years ago, Thomas F. Ryan opened a bowling alley right here in Toronto and captured the attention of a nation. In 1971, he was posthumously inducted into the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame for his creation, 5-pin bowling. Jordan Reginato has the story of the oldest lanes in the city on this historic anniversary.
A bowling alley is a place immersed in tradition that elicits fond memories for its patron. And that is exactly what the newly restored Shamrock Bowl is aiming for as the venue opens its doors once again after shutting down for 2.5 years. Located near Gerrard and Coxwell, the 5-pin bowling alley hosted its grand reopening Wednesday evening. With 2009 being a milestone year for the sport, Toronto's newest event venue is dedicated to upholding the game's history.
This is actually the 100th anniversary of 5-pin bowling, and to find and stumble across the largest and oldest 5-pin bowling center in the city in which it was invented, it was a pretty easy decision that we wanted to maintain and preserve this heritage.
With the sport reaching the century mark, Shamrock Bowl strides itself in providing 5-pin bowlers a blast from the past the entire family can enjoy. Now that Shamrock Bowl is available to house memorabilia and artifacts from their past, veteran bowlers are proud to celebrate the anniversary of this truly national sport.
It's one of the 4 heritage sports now, as designated by the government, along with basketball, lacrosse, and ringette. And so I think to make Canadians aware of what a wonderful sport this is, and it was invented in Canada. I used to always like to say, when you bowl Canadian, bowl 5-pin. People in Buffalo come over the border, look and see what we're doing, go, I never heard of that game. What are you talking about? So what we've got is a Canadian game played only by Canadians, and I'll tell you, we love it.
There to lend his support to a game that seems to get lost in the shadow of another national identity was former NHLer Ron Ellis.
Of course, we're known for our hockey, but kind of neat to know we're known for five-pin bowling as well.
Even hockey legends like five-pin bowling. Shamrock Bowl is betting that the people of East York will fall in love with the sport all over again. Now, the venue is only open to corporate events and private parties, so if you'd like to bring your sports team, your office, or just a group of friends by, visit the website at www.shamrockbowl.ca. For Centennial Sports TV, I'm Jordan Reginata.
Thank you, Jordan. Keep practicing out there. Let's move on to another sport with its roots in Canadian history, but it's not hockey.
No, Anthony, it's not. It's actually cricket. And being English, cricket is true to my heart. So I went down to Sunnybrook Park to see what was going on down there.
And as I understand it, it was another rainy day.
Oh, yes, much like today. But you know what? It makes me feel at home. Trophy is part of Toronto's celebration of cricket, created by CIMA, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. The English-based company feel cricket is the ideal vehicle to interact with their members and the Toronto community.
And we said the best way to increase awareness of our qualification is to get involved in a sport like cricket and help them boost the game in Toronto. And we started that in 2005, inviting the mayor to join our event.
Also involved are Toronto Parks, Forestry and Recreation, who believe the sport appeals to Toronto's diverse population. I spoke with Ken Jeffers, who has been impressed with Mayor David Miller's involvement in the programme.
And we talked about how to promote and celebrate the game of cricket, because this was a game, it was another option for young people and people in general to recreate, basically. And that's how he said he wanted to champion this. So he was tremendous in his leadership with that.
The aim of the day is to raise funds for Cricket Across the Pond, an organisation founded to send young cricketers from diverse neighbourhoods in Toronto, such as East York, to England to learn the fundamentals of the sport.
Going to send the best cricketers in Toronto, or are we going to find a good set of ambassadors who can really represent Toronto and its diversity and diversity in sports over in England? So we chose the secondary one.
Abador, Ali and Faisal are three such ambassadors.
We have a lot more facilities which we don't have here, and it was a privilege to get to play there, and it was a lot of fun.
Events like this are crucial for developing the sport at a youth level. Despite being only in its fourth year, the competition attracted some big-name corporate sponsors who all provided teams, including RBC, Rogers, Bombardier and CBC, and they all turned out despite the rain.
In other water-related news, the pools at Monarch Park and Earl Grey are scheduled to be drained on December 31st due to what the Toronto District School Board calls a lack of funding. But they say they could be saved at 2 public meetings being held next week. Now, last year, the school board voted to close 39 pools, but some were saved, including 4 last month after a response from residents and provincial funding. Now, the first public meeting is being held next week on October 13th at Monarch Park, while the second will be held October 15th at Earl Grey Senior Public School.
Now up next, hitting the hardwood with the Centennial men's basketball team. And our very own Andrew Tokar visits Little Motor City right here on the Danforth.
Centennial Sports TV is your home to all that East York Athletics has to offer. From high school and college sports to local events and even ways to keep in shape, we will bring you all the stories from around the community. Catch us live every Friday night at 8 and learn what has gone on in the past week and what is coming in the week ahead. If you miss our live broadcast, just log on to our website, ondemand.centennialcollege.ca, to see all that happened. Centennial Sports TV, your home to East York sports.
Welcome back to CSTV. Thanks for staying with us. We move on to Centennial Sports now. Wednesday, October 14th marks the start of the season for both the men's and women's basketball teams. With new faces and plenty of optimism, the men's side is ready for tip-off. Andrew Tokar has the preview.
season of Centennial Colts basketball tips off next week, and there's a renewed sense of optimism. After a disappointing record last year, the team has gone through an extreme makeover. New coach Jim Barkley joined the team this summer.
It's going to be tough because there's only a couple veterans, so it's mainly a rookie team. There's a lot of raw physical talent, but there's not a really high basketball IQ for some of the guys. So it's a matter of sort of getting them ready to play the way the coaches want them to play. Basically just basic basketball.
Andre Bell, one of the few returning players on the roster, is ready to embrace Coach Barkley's system.
It's a new experience, new coach, got a lot of new plays, a lot of new guys. We're not that big as we were before, but we just have to adjust and make it work.
Like Bell said, the team is very undersized in comparison to the competition. There will be plenty of tough nights battling for boards. Jose Magdong understands why he's running hard sprints.
Pretty much they're trying to teach the whole team new plays and all that, trying to get us in shape too, and trying to teach us the little things for the other guys too, right? The fundamentals and all that.
The Colts will go in as an underdog on most nights, but the confidence level is high, something Christian Casimir attributes to team chemistry.
We got a lot of talent. Chemistry is really nice on this team, and the coaches, they know what they're doing. So it's as the year progresses, I see us just getting better and better. Each practice, you can see any practice that you come to, we just get better and better.
With a new coach and plenty of fresh faces, this year's Centennial men's basketball team has a lot to practice before they hit the court this year. For Centennial Sports, I'm Andrew Tokar.
Well, hopefully they fare better than our soccer team. The Colts lost their 8th straight game this week and are still without a point on the season. The men battled St. Lawrence College this past Saturday and came up short once again. Blake Williams was the lone scorer for Centennial in a 2-1 loss, and things aren't going to get any easier for the Colts. They take on Algonquin College, who are 8-1 tonight in Ottawa.
Well, Victoria, things are looking brighter on the women's side, who currently enjoy a 3-game unbeaten streak after dropping the first 5 games of the season. They topped St. Lawrence 2-1 on Saturday. They also travel to Ottawa this weekend to take on the 6-2 Algonquin Thunder.
Now it's time for extramural men's hockey team to hit the ice for another season. All male students are invited to lace up and try out for the team. The tryout session will be held on Tuesday, October 13th at 10 p.m. at the McGregor Arena. The first tournament will take place at North Bay on November 5th. For more information, visit online at centennialcollege.ca/athletics.
Now, last week, our intrepid man on the street, Andrew Tokar, walked the streets of East York planning the Maple Leaf Stanley Cup Parade. Now, after a shaky start, Andrew is walking the streets on the Danforth to a different beat.
Sure thing, Mr. President. The 2 best things that come out of Detroit have been Kid Rock and Eminem. Guess what? They both suck. I've heard a lot about this Detroit eatery in the heart of Leafs Nation. It's time for me to investigate, because it's driving me AWOL. We've got Chris here, the owner of the Detroit Red Wings themed eatery. And I gotta ask you, man, why on Zeus's beard? Why is this a Detroit Red Wings themed restaurant?
Have you ever watched the Toronto Maple Leafs play hockey?
Yeah, of course I'm a Leafs fan, yes.
I was able to get the Stanley Cup here on multiple occasions.
Like 2 years ago when Draper came by here, I enjoyed the compliment of someone thinking I was Zetterberg. And I was like, are you crazy, man?
Well, if you take one bite of the burger, you automatically become a Red Wing fan, it seems.
The burger here, I'm not kidding you, is one of the best. Seriously, it's the best. It's the best in actually in Toronto.
The best thing to happen to the Detroit Red Wings was when the Toronto Maple Leafs left the Western Conference. Now, the verdict. Steve Yzerman is the best hockey player in the world. I'm Andrew Tokar, and I'm AWOL.
Thanks, Andrew. That's all the time we have tonight on CSTV. For Victoria Cornby, I'm Anthony Marcusa. Have a good weekend.
And happy Thanksgiving.